What's going on, y'all? In this video, we are going to make a U-part crochet wig with Kima braid ocean wave. And I'm going to tell you now, I had a hard time. I really struggled, and we're going to talk about it, but she turned out cute though. She sure did. So I'm Mika, by the way. Thank you for stopping by. We are going to start with 4 packs of Kima braid ocean wave number 2, and I purchased 14 inches. And here is the cap. I love this cap. I'm not able to find the one that I was using before, but this one is just as good. It has 2 combs in the front, 1 in the back. Don't worry about that lace. I'm going to show you how to get rid of that. I love this cap because you are able to crochet hair on the entire thing, the hairline, the nape, the entire cap. I will link this cap and all of the other supplies below in the description. I'm actually thinking about getting one of those crochet racks with the hooks on it, and you can just lay the hair out on that. But for years, I've just been using my folding table, and I want to show y'all in case y'all need a little something to use until you decide what you want to do. But this makes it easy for me to grab and go. First thing we are going to do is get rid of that lace. It probably won't be an issue, but I don't want to have to worry about having to work around it. So I am going to stitch the cap back together. That way we have all of the room that we need. And I thought I was filming, but I wasn't. So what I did was I started here, went down, and then I went back. And then I went back down. So you want to stitch over at least twice, in my opinion. So again, I started here, went down, stitched all the way to the back, and then back up. It probably wouldn't be an issue to leave the lace, but I decided to just go ahead and cut it. And then I just cut the lace from the bottom as well. Okay, so let's have a little chit chat. The plan was to make this a full cap wig, a full cap ocean wave wig. And I came up with the bright idea of cutting a bang, and I should have known that was not going to work. At the end, I'm going to show y'all that bang. So that's why we are here with a U-part. Yeah, that bang was a hot mess. It was. I had to go ahead and pull out this crochet hook. It's not my favorite. If you know from my other videos, I prefer the smaller one. And look at this. I did fight for my life while making this crochet wig. I ended up having to go and get a smaller one, but we made do. So like always, I spaced the hair out in the back. I could have spaced this hair out a bit more. The wig is a bit full. I ended up using 5 packs, maybe 5.5. So yeah, if you don't want it to be too full, I would space the hair out. But I looped the hair 3 to 4 times, sometimes 5 times once I reach the top around the part area. This hair is super easy to work with. If you find that it's loosening up, you can grab a piece from each piece and tie a knot, and I can show you how I did that because I did that a couple of times at the crown. But yeah, small pieces, space out if you don't want it to be too full, and then loop it at least 3 times and you should be good. If you have weak edges, if your edges are thin, or if you have no edges at all, this is a great option for you. U-part crochet wig. You do want the rest of your hair to be healthy though, because you're going to need to stick the combs in your cornrows. But this would be a great option. That way you don't have to put any tension on your edges. So I can make one for you, or you can use this and make your own. It's super easy. If you don't like making regular wigs, crochet wigs are great if you want to start out. Ocean wave is just so pretty. It reminds me of some nice loose wave bundles, girl. But yeah, I'm still working, y'all. In my mind, I'm using small pieces and I'm just spacing them out. Once I get to this area, I do start to place them closer together because we're going to need hair to cover up all of the knots and the cap. I want to answer a few questions that I get about making crochet wigs. One is, how long does it take? Since I film while I make the wigs, I'm not really sure, but it takes less than 2 hours. And that can include cutting depending on how much you want to cut, how much shaping you have to do. But another question, the caps, the type of caps that I use. I only use these crochet caps. I don't use the mesh dome caps. You can use those. It's a bit harder and it may take longer until you get used to it, but it's harder to get that latch hook through the cap, which is why I prefer these. If you have questions, feel free to leave them below in the comments. Right here are 2 packs, and I am in love. This seems to me this seems like it's longer than 14 inches. But the hair is so pretty. I see why people love Ocean Wave. I have tried to install this, and the same day I took it out, I wasn't able to get the part the way I wanted it to look. As far as the knotless technique, I couldn't get my part to look right. So I was a bit nervous, which is why I was going to do a full cap. When you get to this area, place your hair as close together as possible. You want to cover up that cap and those knots. And I would still use smaller pieces because I've noticed with this hair, at least from my experience, when you use bigger pieces, the hair can unravel. But that's an easy fix. I'm going to show you in a little bit how you can just grab pieces from each piece of hair, tie a knot, and then you'll be good. The hair won't go anywhere. Just keep in mind, the more hair you use, the fuller your wig will be. To make our outline for our part, take your weaving. Now, I'm going to recommend using brown. That way you can see where you're supposed to be crocheting your hair. Well, I was making this when I realized that would be a great option. So I'm going to say to get some brown weaving thread. You're going to want to go through and outline your part. And I made mine as close together as possible because I do not plan to have any of my hair out. I don't want to do anything but put her on and go ahead on about my business. So outline your part with weaving needle and thread, and I recommend brown thread. Sew over that area at least 2 times, and then make sure you do so through the elastic band. This is the very reason why I love this cap. Since you are able to crochet hair on the entire cap, you are able to make the hairline as full as you want it to be. So if you have thin edges, weak edges, or no edges, this cap is perfect. And just my opinion, if you are having issues with your hair, where your hair is currently thinning, I don't recommend getting crochet braids installed. I suggest, if you must wear some type of hair extensions, I recommend trying a wig. That way there's no tension on your edges or your hair, period. And at the end of the day, you can remove your wig and have access to your hair. If you are new to wigs, please don't feel like you have to do what it seems like everyone is doing on social media. You do not have to wear lace. You do not have to glue your wigs down and wear them for weeks at a time. Call me old school. I am a bit older. I'm 46. Gluing a wig to my face just makes no sense to me. Right now, I'm just going in and crocheting what I can with this latch hook. I have started doing the knotless technique, and I'm going to show you how I do it right here. So with the knotless technique, you only pull one of the ends through the loop. And I looped it, looks like I did it quite a few times, like at least 3 times. But I look like I did it about 10 million times, but do it at least 3 times. And then you grab a small piece of hair from each side and you tie that at least twice. So I'm grabbing my hair and I'm going to tie a knot at least twice. So 1 and 2, and that hair will go nowhere. I'm going to do another one. So that's our line. That's going to be our quote unquote part. And I'm going to show you how to do another one. So you take your hair, you pull it through, you grab one end, loop it at least 3 times. And then you grab a piece from each side and tie it off. When you first try doing this, it may seem a bit tedious, but the more you do it, the faster you will get at it and it'll just be natural. So I recommend doing it. It does make it last longer. You don't have to worry about those knots going through and the hair coming out, and it just makes it look better, in my opinion. So since I was not able to finish the top because the latch hook was too big, I went through and I did a light trim. I don't recommend doing a whole lot of cutting until you get her on your head, and cut her as if you're going to wear a middle part. That way you have the option to wear your part on the left or the right, or of course the middle. I wear my part on the left mostly. But yeah, love this hair, y'all. And when you cut your hair, keep the scissors, like go downward and don't close the scissors. Just keep cutting down while the scissors remain open. It's days later and I was able to get to my favorite beauty supply store to get my latch hook. Watch I find my old one in a few days, and I will let y'all know when I do, but it's around here somewhere. There were areas of the top I wasn't able to get through with that larger latch hook. So I recommend using a smaller one. You can either get both or just use a small one like I do. But now I'm able to go through and fill everything in like I needed to. And it's coming together. Y'all look at that. Girl. Now to cut out that extraness in the middle, I like to use very small scissors. These are manicure scissors, and just cut a straight line where we did not crochet hair. Just go straight across and then go all the way down, cut through that cap, and then the only thing you really have to go through and clean up is that cap. Do that and be careful. Don't cut yourself if you use these scissors. They are pretty sharp. And that is it. Now let's talk about these combs, girl. Child, I wasn't able to finish this wig on this day either because the needle would not go through these combs. Girl. This will be my first time using these type of combs. I think these are similar to the combs I use for clip-ins. I'm not really sure. These are the combs that I usually use for wigs, and I used it for the last U-part wig that I made, but I feel like they're too big. I feel like it would be painful after wearing the wig for a long time, which is why I wanted to try some different combs. So I'm going to let y'all know what I think about the ones that I'm about to use now. I got a needle from my mom, and I'm using nylon thread, and I'm just sewing the wig comb onto the cap. I was only able to sew the sides. The needle would not go through the holes on top of the wig cap, if y'all can see those. Whichever type of comb you decide to use, make sure it's as close to the very end and the very top of the wig cap. That way you don't see your braid when you have the wig comb in. See how they're the same? And so it would be ideal if I was able to sew this here, but I can't because I need them to go the way that they're going. For the next U-part wig that we make, I think I'm going to try the combs that are already on the wig cap. I'm going to take those out. I'll let y'all know. And we are done. Y'all, this one put me through it, but I'm going to try her on in another video, and I will let y'all know how she looks and feels with these combs. Okay, so y'all remember when I told y'all how I tried to make this a wig with a bang? So let's talk about it. I put my little clips in, I cut the bang, and immediately I knew, look, I knew right then this was not going to work. I don't know why I kept running my fingers through it. I even followed through with the cut. And so I was like, girl, I had to cut my ring light off, go sit down on my bed and eat some gummy bears. And I came back, I clipped the long hair out of the way and I cut those short pieces out. I cut the knots to remove the hair, and I just started that area over. And that is how we ended up to the part where we outlined our part for the U-part wig. So I hope that encourages you to continue at making wigs. If you're just starting out to make wigs for yourself, just know it's okay to try different things. And if they don't work out, you have to keep on pushing and move on and try something else. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one.